Hello, Kenya, and welcome to the final episode of Hold My Mic for the year 2025. My name is Willis Raburu, and this time we do it differently. But first, drop the beat!
Hold my mic. Hold my mic. Hold my mic. Yeah, yo, hold my mic. Hey, hold my mic. Hold my mic. Hey, hold my mic. Hold my mic.
Now, this year has been something else. Dramatic, to say the least. And not dramatic in the cinematic way. No. Drama in a how did we survive this kind of way. 2025 did not sprint. It dragged itself. It argued with us. It raised our blood pressure and our taxes. Now, at the very end of it all, we are doing what Kenyans do best. We are looking back, taking stock, laughing a little, and just enough that we don't scream because this stuff is crazy. So let's start with some information that would worry anyone who has ever complained about leadership in this country. Posted a long thread online or even said the words, this government, and then sighed in disappointment. If there's one group that dominated conversations this year online and on the streets, it was the young people. The Gen Zs were loud, the Gen Zs were bold, the Gen Zs were angry. And for a generation that has mastered the art of mobilizing protests in just hours, collapsing hashtags in minutes, and canceling people before lunch, when it came to the time to register to vote, nothing but silence. When it came to the most basic act of political participation, they were nowhere to be seen. Now, according to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the Iebc, voter registration numbers in 2025 have been painfully low, especially among young Kenyans. Out of an estimated 6.8 million eligible new voters, only a fraction showed up to register during the continuous voter registration exercise. Not millions, not even hundreds of thousands, a fraction, 148,315 by December 5th, 2025 to be exact. And if everyone thought maybe they'll show up on election day, the by-election answered that question very clearly. In the multiple by-elections held this year, from parliamentary to ward races, the youth turnout was dismal. Polling stations were quiet, queues were short, and the loudest demographic on social media was largely absent from the ballot box.
In this election we have just presided over, it was really pathetic. Very few young people came out to vote. A large number of them were old people, and in very north where I was, among the old people, the majority were even women.
So we ended up with a very Kenyan contradiction. A country where young people are politically aware, politically vocal, politically exhausted, but also politically underrepresented where it matters most. And this matters because when you don't show up, someone else does. Someone older, someone comfortable, someone who has been here since the days when elections were still held in a mlolongo system. The youth are the majority, but let's not get it twisted. Power still belongs to those who turn up consistently, not those who trend occasionally. And this isn't a lecture, my young brothers and sisters. No, it's just an observation. Because history doesn't record who complained the loudest. It records who showed up when the register was open, when the ballot box was unlocked, and when silence would have been easier. And in 2025, Kenya learned something uncomfortable about itself. We have a generation that understands the problem perfectly, but hasn't fully decided what to do with that understanding. Now, let's talk about loss. The kind of loss that makes the country go quiet for a second. 2025 took people from us, the big people, the loud people, the complicated people, all of them. People who shaped arguments in living rooms, barbershops, matatus, family WhatsApp groups. At the very beginning of the year, Kenya lost the former Iebc chairman, Wafula Chebukati, a man who presided over elections the way a referee manages a Gor Mahia versus AFC Leopards derby match in a hostile stadium, with everybody yelling and almost nobody fully happy. No matter where you stood politically, Chebukati carried the weight of a country that never agrees but still expects answers.
I, Wafula Chebukati, chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, hereby declares that Ruto William Samoei, of ID number 6847208, has been duly elected as the president.
Then we lost Edward Kwach, a voice so familiar, it felt like part of the national furniture. That deep, steady baritone that could read bad news and somehow just make you trust it. The kind of voice that didn't chase trends, it set the tone.
Finally, you will summit and get to the top. Once there, you will realize that after taking it all in, that's simply half the journey. The journey still continues because you still have to get back down. All in all, Taji, just remember one thing if you want to get into this vocation. Be consistent. It's a vocation of passion. And to be in media, you'll have to be thick-skinned. If you're brilliant, be brilliant. If you're crap, be good at being crappy. But at the end of the day, strap in, enjoy the view, because it's a beautiful vocation.
And then October 15th happened. Kenya paused to take a breath, and Raila Odinga was gone. A morning stroll to recover after surgery took the life of a man we always thought was immortal. A 5-time presidential candidate, eternal opposition icon, the face of resistance, protest, hope, disappointment, and resilience. Love him or disagree with him, Raila was not just a politician, he was a season, an era, a permanent fixture in Kenya's political weather. And how fitting that his favorite song was Jamaica Farewell by Harry Belafonte, a song about leaving but never really going away, because Raila didn't just leave with the wind, he left fingerprints on history.
Sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a days. My head is down, my head is turning around. I had to let a river little girl in Kingston town.
And then, just last week, Kenya also lost Cyrus Jirongo, a sometimes controversial, unpredictable, yet very charismatic man. Oh, so charismatic. He was part of the Alfa House, where he hosted a fiery political show and spoke to the who is who of that world. He was one of those figures who reminded us that Kenyan politics isn't just a straight line, it's a plot twist with shoes that don't match.
I put pen to paper and tell Kenyans.
You are writing a book?
I wrote it a long time ago, but I can't even release it.
Why?
Because I'll end up in, some people might just murder me.
But the book is already there, you know.
It is there
cannot
written,
kill a
but
voice.
we cannot give it out at the moment, but it will come out at the right time.
Because he saw it all, wealth, love, loss, family, and he spoke about it all with such great humor.
Museveni found it fit or saw it fit to ban me from going to Uganda. A letter was written to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
You're banned from
Kenya.
going to Uganda.
These, among many others this year, were not just deaths, they were full stops in long, complicated sentences we've been reading since childhood. Lies that shaped our arguments, our headlines, our dinner table debates, our anger, our hope. And here's the strange thing about loss. It doesn't just arrive loudly, it arrives quietly after the news alerts disappear, after the hashtags fade, after the burial photoshops stop circulating. It shows up when a familiar face is suddenly missing from the national noise. In that silence, the country pauses, not to agree, but to remember. And in remembering, we realize something uncomfortable and true. History doesn't ask whether we liked its characters. It only asks whether we paid attention while they were here. So we mourn them, not as saints, not as villains, but as chapters that carried us to this page. And just when it felt like 2025 had taken enough from us, just when the year felt too heavy, too tense, too divided, something unexpected happened. Football happened. And no, not Manchester United, the greatest team in the world. No, the African Nations Championship. CHAN arrived quietly, without hype, without billion-shilling promises, without politicians fighting over who launched it. And somehow, It did what rallies, manifestos, and national prayers could not. It united us. For a few beautiful weeks, Kenyans remembered how to agree on something. Suddenly, tribes disappeared, political colors faded. Everyone became a coach. Everyone became a pundit. Everyone became a free kick expert.
Kenya looking to advance their cause, looking for a goal, and they find it brilliantly in added time. It's Austin Odhiambo with the strike that's...
Ticket out Matatu's blasted match commentary instead of campaign songs. WhatsApp family groups argued about substitutions instead of succession politics. Strangers high-fived in bars like long-lost cousins. And for once, our national unity didn't come from tragedy. It came from hope. From watching players who looked like us, who struggled like us, and played not for contracts abroad, but for the badge. Chan reminded us of something dangerously powerful, that Kenya still knows how to come together. We just need a reason that doesn't involve funerals or fuel prices. It didn't fix the economy, no it didn't. It didn't lower taxes, it didn't repair roads, but for a moment, just for a moment, it repaired us. And maybe that's what 2025 was trying to teach us all along, that even in a year full of loss, of noise, of confusion and exhaustion, there are still moments, rare, beautiful moments, where we remember who we are. Not perfectly, not permanently, but enough to keep going, enough to turn the page, and enough to believe that the next chapter might just be better. Now let's end it how we started, and this is going to be a bit of a wake-up call. I hope so, at least. So listen in. By August 2026, it will be 1 year to the election. It's election season again in Kenya. That familiar time when politicians dust off their promises like old coats and seldom remember that the youth exist. But now, I want to speak plainly, because for all the noise online, for all the trending hashtags, for all the skits, the memes, the hot takes, very few young people actually register and show up to vote. And the truth is very, very simple. If you don't sit at the table, you are actually on the menu. These people will eat you alive. Look at the leadership we currently have, and also look at the ages by 2027. Kalonzo Musyoka, he'll be 74 years old. President William Ruto will be 61 years old. Rigathi Gachagua Rigiji will be 62 years old. Dr. Fred Matiang'i will be 59. Chief Justice retired David Maraga will be 76 years old. Now, these are the people shaping policies for a nation whose median age is 20 years. 20 years old. We are literally a youth nation governed by senior citizens. And that is not an insult. It's a fact. Now, I know age brings wisdom, and wisdom, yes, but wisdom without representation is imbalance. So, where are the youth? Let's be honest. We are running politicians' social media accounts, but not running for office. We are building their digital armies, but we are not building our own political futures. We are defending people who don't even know our names. We are the fuel, but we're never the drivers. We show up in numbers online and disappear in numbers when it's time to register. We shout, change, 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 mabadiliko, maandamano, but we vote with apathy. We criticize the system, but we never stand inside it. And that's how we lose the very future we complain about. And this is the brutal truth. You cannot solve a problem for people you do not listen to. Yet, entire political parties in this country, they move without any real youth voice at the decision-making table. Many parties have youth leagues that are photo op decor, not really power centers. Young people are told to clap, to escort, to fill crowds, but not to lead. The formula is expired completely. So here's a call, loud and clear. Number one, youth, register to vote at your earliest convenience. Not next month, not when the Iebc extends the deadline. Your vote is the first political weapon. Without it, everything else is noise. Number two, stop waiting for permission. Vie for these seats, MCA, MP, senator, governor, even president. I mean, why not? If you can build a digital brand, if you can run a business, you can mobilize a movement online, you can create content that shifts culture, then you can lead. Politics is not for others, it is for citizens, and you are the citizens. Number three, political parties must stop treating youth as decoration. Now, if a party has no real youth leadership, no youth agenda, no youth in a winnable position, it is not a national party, it is an archive. Young people are not a slogan. We are a constituency. Include us. I mean, please include us. We don't want t-shirts. with power. We, in 2027, we want to choose more than leaders. We will choose whether the next decade belongs to the future or nostalgia. Whether we embrace innovation or recycle the same leaders again and again and again. So as we move into the election year, hear this. If you don't show up, others will choose your future for you. If you don't register, you don't get to complain. If you don't participate, you don't get represented. Kenya is ready for new voices, for fresh energy, young leaders who understand the digital economy, the creative economy, climate anxiety, unemployment, debt burden, and the urgency of opportunity. But the question is not whether Kenya is ready. No. The question is, are the youth ready? History has a fun way of rewarding those who step forward, those who act. So register to vote, speak up, step in, and lead. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Willis Raburu. As always, this has been Hold My Mic. I look forward to doing it again with you next year. Happy holidays, and God bless successful people look like you. And of course, the great Manchester United. Walade!
Hold my mic, yeah, hold my mic, hold my mic, hold my mic, hold my mic, hold my mic.